G'day interwebs, I'm Bman and this is Call of Cthulhu. It's part 2 of my playthrough and there is a playlist on my channel if you want to catch up. Remember to hit subscribe. Feel free to like or comment if you like or want to comment on the video. Let's enter the madness. So we are Edward Pierce, I think is our name, and we've travelled to Darkwater Port to investigate. Here we go. Pierce took the Hawkins case. The cursed artist is accused of having caused the fire that killed her and her family. As the only clue, she left her father a disturbing painting. On the shipping label, an address, a warehouse set on the docks of the island of Darkwater. The place seems to be the starting point for Pierce's investigation. Long load time. So when we arrived in Darkwater, some guy turned up and he told me all the sights that I could see around the town, but I pretty much forgot everything he said to me. It's been a few days since my last game. I thought the bar had stalled. It seems to be slowly moving. I have low lighting on my face cam because I need to compromise between the viewer being able to see me and atmosphere for my own personal benefit. I've tried playing horror games with the light flat out off before, or with my mobile phone light shining up in my face, and it doesn't illuminate the face cam enough. Okay, into the madness. Okay, apparently I can consult my diary to see what he said to me. On the approach to Darkwater, I saw thick clouds masking the sky. They were so low they seemed intent on impaling themselves on the sharp reefs that circle the island. Fitzroy, the captain of the only tub that manages to float to the mainland, offered to help me. You may have documents that belong to Charles Hawkins. That's the lady's husband, I believe. Fitzroy advised me to visit the port's bar. He mentioned a little pick-me-up. I suppose I could get the lay of the land at the same time. Fishermen have gathered around the carcass of a killer whale. I could have a look and see what the local cops have got to tell me. Captain Fitzroy offered to share with me what he has found on the Hawkins in the archives of the Harbormaster's Office. Okay, so I want to go to the bar, I want to find the killer whale carcass, and I want to go to the Harbormaster's Office. Got 1 CP. Places. Darkwater Port. At the entrance to the port of Darkwater, one still passes in front of the shell of the Scylla, I don't know how to pronounce that, the last whaling ship to have brought back a catch. Sailors wander the docks looking for some small job for the day. A gang of bootleggers has set itself up there and is gnawing away at the territory of Captain Fitzroy, the last sailor to own a boat capable of making the round trip between the island and mainland. Here the golden age of whale hunting is but a distant memory. That's the art, that's the picture that Sarah Hawkins sent to, was it her father, Mr. Webster? The guy who asked me to investigate her. Okay, so why is Pierce still highlighted? My sanity. So basically I'm traumatized from the war and I like to drink and take sleeping pills. I mean that statement to apply to my character as well as myself. Okay, I'm assuming that's staying highlighted because I haven't assigned the 1 point yet. but I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it. I'd like to put up my occultism skill, but how do I run? No option to talk to him. What if I press A? No. What if I press right trigger? No. If I press left trigger? Okay, maybe I just can't talk to him. Welcome to Darkwater. There's the killer whale. There's the Harbormaster's Office, and that would be the tavern. Those people look like they're blocking off the next section of the town. Same in this direction, actually.
Hey, Sullivan, can't you go any faster?
You see how old this thing is? If we force it too much, we'll break everything.
You can't do that.
But it's only a fish.
A fish? You've got no idea. Don't badmouth what you don't know, or you'll pay for it for sure.
Okay, that's enough. Step back and let us do our job.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Oh yeah? He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not
Alright, they're
sailors.
repeating themselves.
It's
The
a sign.
way that the one guy is
coming.
gesticulating
Something real bad.
makes it appear that he's the only one who's
Don't put
speaking,
that beast
but the
back
other
in water,
characters
you shysters! You're crazy!
are definitely speaking too.
Cops. They can't understand.
Okay, so I
Damn
can talk to the
stupid
cop.
idiots.
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
I can talk to
Oh,
the cop,
yeah.
I can look at the whale.
He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign.
So trying to haul the killer whale back down into the water.
Don't put that beast back in the water,
Talk
you
to the cop
shysters!
first.
You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
Ask about Warehouse 36. These sailors get upset over nothing. You're totally out of your depth. I'm just gonna flat out ask him about the warehouse.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
You can see that I'm busy, can't you?
You can't understand.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you
So I only get
shysters!
one shot
You're
to talk to
crazy.
him.
They're cops.
Maybe
They
I should
can't
have
understand.
Damn stupid idiots!
commented on the sailors
Forget
first.
it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
That's no way to treat an omen.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
looks like my medical skill.
Gonna get us into trouble.
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's
Some-
a sign. There's something coming.
What is that? Oh,
Something
crabs.
real bad.
Don't put that beast back
So
in
does
the
that
water,
mean if I had a
you
higher
shysters! You're
medicine
crazy!
skill, I'd be able to
Cops, they can't understand.
figure out what killed it?
Stupid idiots.
Forget it. Nobody listens to us anyway.
Main objectives, talk to Fitzroy. Secondary objectives, go to the bar. So I'll go to the bar before I go to the warehouse. The what's it called? The Harbormaster's Office. There are a very limited amount of interactable objects in this game, but you need to walk right up to them to find out if they are interactable or not. Can I pick that up? How do I duck? B? Nope, can't pick it up. The stranded whale. Pretty fitting. January 16, 1918. 1919, momentous day in world's history.
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
So is this during Prohibition? I'm not American and I don't know when Prohibition took place. See, plenty of opportunity for people to interact with, but they're non-interactable.
Hey, be careful.
Pwn that guy. Hello.
Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Wasn't me who went looking for it. Hold to test eloquence. Hold to test strength. The guy didn't show respect. You're overdoing it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna try my eloquence. It wasn't me who went looking for it.
You saw what happened. He's the troublemaker.
Oh, you're a true mainlander. A real princess. You strut around with your la-di-da ways, and then, as soon as the pressure arises, you start squealing. You don't have what it takes to drink my whiskey. You've got to earn it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Okay, I can order a drink, find out about Darkwater, or they say no prohibition around here, or tell him I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Ask him about the prohibition.
I didn't expect to find alcohol on this island. What's the source of this miracle?
You mean who? Our source of supply wouldn't like me to betray them to the first comer.
I'll tell nobody.
She'd know it anyway. Anything else?
Okay, so it's a woman. He's providing the alcohol. I wonder if it's the lady with the cigarette. Find out about Darkwater. Why the stranded whale before I go in for information about Sarah Hawkins.
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of Darkwater, when our whalers left for long months and came back sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of the whales they'd been hunting.
It was a tough time, all the same.
Ah, but steeped in glory. We've never known such wealth since then.
They could have looped the sea shanty a bit better. It keeps going silent for a second and then coming back on. Alright, find out about Sarah Hawkins.
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. and I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
It's not speaking ill if it's true. It's true that they were strange, or enough said about Sarah Hawkins. It's not speaking ill if it's true.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
It's true that they were strange.
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable?
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
Enough said about Sarah Hawkins.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
I'm looking for Warehouse 36.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins Warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
Order a drink. I don't see why Edward Pierce would suddenly become a teetotaler just because I'm playing through his story.
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
Oh yeah? That must have been before you came looking for a fight in my bar.
Oh, come on. Because of a little tussle.
Drinking it here is a privilege, and I grant the privilege to whoever I want. Anything else?
The jerk. I already did this, didn't I? Why is it still white? Is there some sort of skill check involved? No, did everything. Although why are the strange? Maybe just the exclamation mark ones are in white. I'm just wondering whether the white represents that there's information that I didn't uncover down that dialogue tree. I noticed after my last game I had a look at the achievements I unlocked, and I unlocked an achievement for failing a skill check. So in chapter 1 I must have failed at least one skill check. Right, I'm finished with this guy if he's not going to give me any booze.
That'll be all for now.
Consult my diary. Talk to Bradley. Okay. Still 1 CP. Inhabitants. Roy Mitchell, age 55, occupation owner of the Stranded Whale Bar. Pardon me. Roy Mitchell runs the only bar on Darkwater. Prohibition has no hold on the Stranded Whale, and sailors come to seek comfort in Mitchell's whiskey. The man therefore knows more than anyone the secrets and rumours that the inhabitants of the island exchange after a few glasses. Mitchell is devoted to the golden age of whale hunting, if the numerous trophies that decorate his establishment are anything to go by. The man will talk freely on this subject on which he is so keen, but he will be far less enthusiastic if one was to inquire about his source of liquor. Whoops. Okay, places. The Stranded Whale, a bar where liquor is served with total impunity. It's the last thing I expected to find when I arrived on this island. The stranded whale is its name, and it's managed with an iron hand by the owner, a certain Mitchell. He does not tolerate troublemakers, and he fiercely protects the identity of his supplier. Not very well, he told me she was female. All the inhabitants of the area seem to go there, and I even saw what looks to be a truce between the bootleggers and the sailors. What's a bootlegger? Someone who makes counterfeit items? Oh, someone who makes booze? During Prohibition? Alright, so I don't have any clues yet. Let's look for these whaling trophies. They're bones. Captain Fitzroy $12. C. Hawkins $68. S. Winchester G dollars. Andrews $6. Oh, it might be $9. S. Winchester $9. Miss Baker always free for the Lordy? Lady. Miss Baker always free for the lady.
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting.
So that's the debts. Okay, well, the debts or what they owe. So, Miss Baker. Is that the lady with the cigarette?
And then he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
So I've noticed that it's not necessarily a faulty
He'll
loop.
do it again, you know.
Oh,
The girl doctor, Golden, she won't stop asking.
not that again. She will get us into trouble.
I know.
Doctor named Colden. Yeah, I've noticed that it's not a break in the loop of the sea shanty. It's whenever I interact with something, the game goes silent for a second. The shanty, 21st of May, 1847.
You have no right to treat
He's
us.
repeating himself. Miraculous Catch. The sailor returns and saves Darkwater from famine.
My God.
Warehouse for rent with warehouse spelled incorrectly. Celebration night at the stranded whale.
The Miraculous Catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
The shanty, 21st of May, 1847, Miraculous Catch. The sailor returns to port to save Darkwater from famine. We had given up hope. The crew of the sailor, or what remains of it, returned to Darkwater Port late on Tuesday afternoon. The locals immediately rushed to the docks to welcome the last whaling ship on the island. People were amazed at the sight of the unbelievable catch the brave vessel had on board. Of a size that went beyond that of the formidable toothed whales, the cetacean that is already being called the Miraculous Catch covered the whole deck, and parts of it were hanging over the side of the ship. The surviving sailors told a frightening account of their perilous catch, but also of its meat, unmatched in its quality and plentiful nutritious benefits. There is no doubt that the immense size of this whale will allow numerous inhabitants of Darkwater to feed themselves, bringing an end to the famine from which part of the island was suffering. Okay, so everyone on the island ate some weird giant cetacean. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Warehouse for rent. Mr. Marks is putting his warehouse up for rent from June for fishing workshop or storage activities. You can contact him via your favourite newspaper or visit him on the docks. Special evening at the Stranded Whale. To celebrate the return of our brave whalers, all the staff of the Stranded Whale invite you to an exceptional and free tasting event. Come with your family or with friends to taste the Miraculous Catch. Each person will leave with a bottle of oil, so don't hesitate. Alright, so everyone in town ate some weird
The girl doctor.
thing
Cold.
80 years ago, 1847, and it's currently 1924. Comes under a cult. The Miraculous Catch is what the locals call the last catch of their whalers. In 1847, although whales were disappearing from the fishing zone of the Darkwater whalers, the crew of the Scylla made a gigantic and monstrous catch that saved the island from famine. They still celebrate this catch, and an article from the time still decorates the bar. It's strange how the memory seems so alive, as if it was maintained by the survivors. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. Article on the Miraculous Catch. That's what I just read. Over to Pierce. Still 1 CP. So where's the... Oh, it's too late to see. So there's a whole bunch of mental traumas that I can unlock. Alrighty.
She won't stop asking.
Not that again. She will get us into trouble.
I know.
Just want to hear what these guys say again to see if the article puts it in a different context. Because I strongly suspect that it wasn't good for the entire town to eat whatever weird, unidentified fish, mammal, monster they eat.
And he said, "You have no right to treat us like this."
And the doctor, what did he say?
He laughed.
My God.
You said it.
She will do it again, you know.
Oh,
The girl doctor. Cold. She won't stop asking.
not that again. She will get us into trouble.
I know.
Something just fell down behind me. Not sure what. In real life, I mean, not in the game. Interact with one of them. There's the lady with the cigarette.
My God.
Nightmares. Can hear things and voices whispering. Will follow its reader and appear at various locations, gifted with its own consciousness, until it finds a new reader. Ah, that's it. Maybe we should let him take it. No, the risks are too high. It's a book, after all. Pure knowledge.
Can't talk to him anymore. Alright. Something that, like, spawns when you read it and stays with you until somebody else reads it.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens.
We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
What is this song?
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the Miraculous Catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof. Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
Yeah, it is a bit weird that 80 years later they're still talking about this one catch. The end of whaling.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the Miraculous Catch.
Exactly.
Hashtag save the whales. Okay.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
If I had the wing of the girly boys, I would let a man fly home.
Gonna listen to this song.
I'd leave all Queensland's icy grounds for no right. Well, there is no. And the weather is rough, and the winds do blow, and there's little comfort here. I'd sooner be snug in a dead-fall pub, a drinking of strong beer. If I had the wing of the girly boys, I would let the men fly home. I'd leave all Queensland's icy grounds for no right. Well, there is no. And the weather is rough.
Can't really understand what they said. I think they said something about evil and icy realms, maybe? Not sure. It doesn't really seem to be a game about finding hidden items, but... Oh, where's this go? I'll talk to the lady first. Can't get to her friend.
What you looking at, stranger?
I can say she can certainly put them away. I can say nothing at all. As in, I can say the words nothing at all. I'm not looking at anything at all. Or I could say, what is a woman like you doing in a place like this? Which is what I think I'll say.
The clientele is predominantly male.
Tell me something I don't know.
I meant nothing by it. I'm just wondering what a woman like you is doing in this flea trap.
And I'm wondering what could be going through the head of the chump who goes to disturb her. Let me drink, stranger.
Do I talk to her again? Or will she, like, knife me?
I told you to beat it.
Alright. Have a look in the back room. No, I'm not. No lock-picking skill or anything? Okay, I guess we've explored the whole tavern. I get the feeling I'm messing up a lot of skill checks and missing stuff, like this guy not giving me alcohol. Give me a drink.
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
Oh, yeah? That must have been before you came looking for a fight in my bar.
Oh, come on. Because of a little tussle.
Drinking it here is a privilege, and I grant the privilege to whoever I want. Anything else?
Lay the dude.
That'll be all for now.
So where's this asylum? Is it on this island? Okay, I'm going to explore down here and see what these people are saying and if the area is blocked off, because I'm not sure if talking to Fitzroy will just flat out trigger the next chapter.
even a poxed limpet. You think we don't know
There's
what
nothing
you're
for you
doing?
here either.
Hidden in the fog?
Beat it.
I'll shut up your big mouth once and for all.
Optimistic.
Are you stupid or what? Even your captain told you not to stick your noses around here again.
This isn't your home, you bunch of sand crabs. We go where we want.
Hey, you'll get us into trouble.
You're already in trouble.
Come on, can't we sort this out? You can see he's half drunk.
There's nothing to sort out. Your chum wanted to stir us up.
But you can stay to watch if you want. You can pick up the pieces.
Come on, you bastard. You'll see what a true sailor's got in his belly. You hear that? You bilge rats don't scare me.
What did he call us just now?
I said you were a bilge rat. And even a...
That dude distracted me. I want to hear the next line.
You think we don't know what you're doing? Hidden in the fog?
I'll shut up your big mouth once and for all.
Optimistic.
Okay. Giant peak behind the town.
Stupid or what? Even your captain told you not to stick your nose.
Let's go and talk to Fitzroy.
This isn't your home, you bunch of sand crabs.
Wait.
Come on, can't we sort
Fisherman.
this out? You can see he's half drunk.
There's nothing to
Bootlegger.
sort out. Your chum wanted to
One of them was a member of the asylum staff.
But you can stay to watch if you want. You can pick up the pieces.
Come on, you bastard.
Fisherman.
You'll see what a true sailor's got in his belly. You hear that? You bilge rats don't scare me.
What did he call
Bootlegger.
us just now?
I said you were
Fisherman.
a bilge rat. And even a poxed limpet. You think we don't know what you're doing?
/ rare insults.
I'll shut
Pox
up
to
your
limpet.
big mouth once and for all.
Optimistic.
Come on, I want to see the member of the asylum staff.
Are you stupid or
Bootlegger.
what? Even your captain told you not to stick your noses around here again.
This isn't your home,
Fisherman.
you bunch of sand crabs. We go where we want.
Hey, you'll get us into trouble.
You're already
Bootlegger.
Come on, can't we
Maybe it
sort
was this
this
guy
out?
who said something.
You can see he's half drunk.
There's nothing to sort out.
How do I run? Maybe I'm imagining another game. I don't actually remember. Oh no, I'm pretty sure I ran during that dream sequence. Right trigger, left trigger runs. Just gonna look around.
Broken. This place seems half abandoned. Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover.
Should I try and explore the room while he's just standing there looking at me? Always feels weird doing that in a video game. Maritime Bank.
A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years.
Giggity. Sperm whale.
The Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor.
He's not stopping me from looking around. The Learning of Medicine, Volume 2. The second volume teaches ethics and good practice to medical staff. View the character sheet. My medicine level's still 2, which is what it was before. Okay. So the percentage is how close I am to the next, gaining the next point, maybe? Medicine and occult can only be improved by objects discovered in the environment. Green light certainly isn't creepy.
This man and Fitzroy could be twins.
Photograph of Captain Fitzroy. In this photograph, a man who looks like Captain Fitzroy is posing on the bridge of a ship. He has a wooden leg. New clue memorized.
What a macabre souvenir.
Okay, and that door leads outside. Let's check our clues one more time before we talk to him. Photograph of Captain Fitzroy.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
Well, they didn't open that.
I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman cat.
Captain, the terms of our agreement are clear. Keep your men under control. You cannot afford to provoke us. No need to answer this message. Just make your payment to the carrier. Cat. It's titled Threatening Letter. Just gonna have a quick look around because I didn't notice that desk open earlier. I'm just gonna make sure there's nothing else that's become interactable. Nope. What's that?
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. But that's all I'll get from them.
See, every time I interact with something, the game goes silent for a split second. Only a few dates are still legible, 1890, 1907 and a partial date. The rest of the document is blacked out. Who would want this information to be hidden? A letter from Cat and the manifests. Oh, he's gone. Tell me to meet him out on the deck of out here.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. The hard-working lives of my sailors, the fights at the stranded whale. Even the antics of these wharf rats don't escape me.
It's you who lays down the law around here.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. I'm just the last serving captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
Unlocked answer. Your documents are unreadable. I'm going to assume I can come back to this later. I'm going to talk about Darkwater first. I mean, if I'm asking him who is Cat, then I'm pretty much admitting that I just rifled through his documents. I saw the killer whale on the wharf.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
What would have killed it, and why are they putting it back into the sea?
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth, and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
Why are they putting it back into the sea?
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least.
What is this miraculous catch? I'm gonna ask him the least incriminating questions first and save the ones that I've unlocked by rifling through his stuff for later. What is this miraculous catch?
Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailors' return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
I've already read that. Right, I can either ask him who is Cat, or I can show him the photograph that I took from his office. I'm just going to ask him who's Cat first. Seems less incriminating.
I found a threatening letter signed by a certain Cat.
Flat out told him.
What? I don't mind you visiting my Harbormaster's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
Well, I've already admitted to rifling through his office once. This photograph looks strangely like you.
I was looking at your photograph. The one of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you. but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
Oh, that's the thing up on the top floor. So I just talked about Darkwater? Yes. Your documents are unreadable, or I can ask him about Warehouse 36. Your documents are unreadable is an unlocked answer. I might ask him about the warehouse first.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
I can lie and say I have no idea. I can tell him that he underestimates me, which is investigation / professional. Or I can say, is this a game for you? Or I can admit it belonged to the Hawkins family. That's an unlocked answer, so I'm going to choose that.
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse.
Your documents are unreadable.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
Okay, I can say, what did Charles Hawkins really do for a living? I can say, you tell me, or I've got the unlocked answer. I thought that fishing stopped in 1847. I'm going to pick the unlocked answer.
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Okay, I have to remember to come back and talk to Hawkins. I got a character point and I have to consult my diary. Captain James Fitzroy, age 45. Jeez. I hope I don't look like that at 45. James Fitzroy is the captain of the Charybdis. Charybdis? The only boat that still sails between Darkwater and Boston. His base is the Harbormaster's Office, from where he misses nothing that happens on the island. The inhabitants of Darkwater respect him. The bootleggers despise him. He offered to help me in my investigation. Alright, I've got 2 points and I need 4 to put up any one skill. So I probably should have gone for strength over eloquence back in the bar. Whatever. And those guys have moved now, allowing me to get to the warehouse. And it looks like the people who are fighting, who are arguing, are also moved. Are they coming for me? Nope. Right, I'm going to quickly go up and have a look at this leg to see if any other options have unlocked now he's mentioned it to me.
What a macabre souvenir.
Why would there... It looks like there's a hinge on it. Why would you want your wooden leg to, bend? Well, it might not be a hinge. It might just be where it's fixed to the wood, where the metal's fixed to the wood.
We're no longer at home on our own island.
Calm down. It's not worth the effort.
I told him, that flunky, that he'll see what a real sailor has in his belly.
If you continue like that, everyone will see what you've got in your belly.
I hope so. I hope they don't forget the lesson. Me? I'm not scared of some girl.
I mean they're going to cut you open, you idiot. Calm down.
I wonder if it's Cat that they're all afraid of. I wonder if I can suddenly walk down this street. I'm just gonna reread the poster to see if I get any other...
The Miraculous Catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
I know.
The sea shanty reminds me of Game of Thrones for some reason. Look at this horrible idea, I'm going to be stabbed. I'm going to walk down here and get stabbed or something. No, it's a dead end anyway.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
What are bootleggers doing around here?
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you.
You're not scared of their boss?
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her?
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
It's a shame there's not an option for me to ask, is she the lady with the cigarette in the tavern?
I shall take my leave.
Now I'm especially afraid I'm going to be stabbed. But I want to walk down here to make sure I've covered all my bases before I try... Oh, or is that a secret entrance into the warehouse? I'll see if I can approach it from the front. And regardless of whether or not I can, I will approach it from the side. I didn't even think this was the warehouse until that guy told... Or are there two different warehouses?
He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not sailors.
Just saying the same stuff.
There's something coming. Something real bad. Don't put...
What could have done so much damage?
You can't understand. You're...
What could have done so much damage?
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
Yeah, no obvious entrance. It might be down that right side.
Where do you think you're going?
What are the police doing here?
I thought that the Hawkins case had been closed.
That's true.
So what are you doing on guard duty in front of this warehouse?
Who's asking the questions here, the cop or the tourist?
Others are interested in the warehouse?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
Test my eloquence by telling him we're on the same team.
You and I are on the same side of the law.
Oh, yeah?
You don't want to know the truth behind this case.
Are you saying our work was not up to snuff? Forget it.
Okay, I think I just failed another test. Another skill check. Pardon me. What do you know about the Hawkins case?
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone.
If it gets out, I'll have serious problems with you-know-who.
I bet that you hid them somewhere in your hut, on the docks.
Not even. And don't go looking there.
How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway.
Is he drunk?
You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
Who is St. Brendan?
I've never heard of this saint. Is it a local belief?
But everyone knows St. Brendan, the navigator.
He's the patron saint of whales and whalers.
What happened to the statue?
Go see for yourself. He's at the end of the jetty.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to Darkwater?
Find out about the island. Is this where you live?
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
I've heard of St. Brendan before, by the way. I heard about him in a Dean Koontz novel like 20 or 30 years ago. There was a character named after him. So you don't have any work?
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
About St. Brendan.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Who are these guys that are keeping guard?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Who is Cat?
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Oh, hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
Okay, I guess I better go down the dock and look for this guy's hut and whatever is hidden in it. Crabs. Can I tread on them? Ooh, Y button pulls out my ladder. Wonder if I die if I jump in the water. But I don't wonder enough to try it. One. Okay, only one house can be opened. I can pick locks.
There.
The spot hidden skill allows you to detect hidden items in a close range. Once all these items...
Hello, old friend.
New key item obtained. Bottle of liquor. I'm just wondering what the message said before I missed it. Bottle of liquor. This bottle is part of a batch stolen from Cat, the boss of the bootleggers. An excellent way to lean on the guy who guards the entrance to the warehouse. Whiskey, premium quality. Right, let's check out the statue. Weird runes, eerie green light. It's a lighthouse. St. Brendan the Navigator. He's standing on top of some sort of giant fish creature. Occultism. Hang on, I just want to look at his face first. I can't see, he's looking up in the air.
St. Brendan, patron saint of sailors and travelers. Desecrated. I can't even say which language it's written in.
St. Brendan. Does the patron saint of whales and whalers still protect the sailors of Darkwater? Visibly, there were other gods before St. Brendan, and their worshippers do not seem to be of this opinion. The locals will still worship the old saint, but a mark was made on the statue by another cult. Extract from the notebook of Edward Pierce, private detective. Okay, so all that's left to do is to check that doorway. Down the street that was previously blocked by the sailors and bootleggers. And then use the whiskey to blackmail my way into the warehouse.
It's a sign. There's something coming.
That's not a run, that's like a brisk pace. It's on this sign. Sign to the tavern. Is there a way to the top floor of that tavern? It's a 2-story building.
Oh, the girl doctor. It's cold. She won't stop asking.
What? Another break?
One of those damn sailors came looking for trouble again.
But he won't try again anytime soon. We gave him a good hiding.
So you said to yourselves that after such a feat, you could abandon your post.
It's just a little drink. We taught those guys a lesson.
We'll return right after. It's just that standing guard in this alley makes your throat dry.
That fool Fitzroy can't keep his dogs on a leash.
I'll have to send him a more clear-cut message.
Okay, so that's pretty much definitely Cat.
I told you to beat it.
She's still not going to talk to me. Is Baker always free for the lady? So I wonder if her name's Cat Baker, Catherine Baker. The member of the asylum staff is in the bar. I was hearing him through the window. So I'm going to hope this isn't an alternative entrance into the warehouse. It's just a little area for me. What's that question mark?
It looks like there's a way in under this grate.
Way into what? I can see that green question mark, but I don't know what it indicates. Ratchet device. This part enables heavy loads to be lifted and held aloft without risk.
This ratchet device seems to be usable.
Lever. This lever activates a mechanism.
A handle. It must come from these old winches.
Why do I want to go down into the water? To get into the warehouse?
I could use this old winch to lift the grating.
Well, do it. Mount the handle. Mount the ratchet device. Okay, still something missing, I guess. So does that green arrow mean that there's still items to be found?
A whale vertebra. If the newspaper clipping in the bar is true, this bone is a real fossil.
Cogwheel.
It should be possible to mount this cogwheel on the winch.
Mount the cogwheel, turn the handle.
Looks like everything is in its place. All that's left is to try to turn this handle. Damn, I broke it.
Okay, I guess I have to blackmail the guards.
Well, well. A little mouse has got lost on our turf. You're not only inquisitive, you're also stupid. What gave you the crazy idea to come onto my turf?
Don't say anything. I can say I had no idea. Or I can say let me through. I had no idea.
Your turf? That's news to me.
For a guy who has no idea, you've been doing a fair bit of poking around. My men saw you staking out the Hawkins Warehouse.
Is that against the law?
I'm no idiot, detective. I'll tell you how things work around here. I decide who comes in and who stays out. And anyone who doesn't respect my rules, I punish them.
I can attack her, or I can say, so you're Cat.
Is your name Cat?
What of it?
Maybe we can come to an understanding.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
Whoa.
Get this joker out of here. He might have a little trouble walking on his own.
Just die.
Oh, I'm getting careless. I didn't see that coming. If I want to get into this warehouse, I'm going to have to deal with her.
I mean, am I? I've got a bottle of whiskey that'll let me bribe the guards. Supposedly.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters. You're crazy.
They're cops. They can't understand.
So did she... She stabbed me, or she just hit me in the stomach or something?
He's gonna get us into trouble. You can't understand. You're not seeing.
Oh. Check out Cat's character. Cat, age 24, occupation gang boss. Boss of a gang of bootleggers which seems to use Darkwater as a hideout. Cat always keeps an eye on her territory, the zone of abandoned warehouses on the docks. I have the impression that all the men on Darkwater fear her. Even Mitchell, the owner of the stranded whale, is reluctant to talk about her. She uses Darkwater as the point of departure for her cargoes of whiskey, and she is slowly gnawing away at Captain Fitzroy's territory.
Who's this guy?
No idea. You better keep it shut.
Wait, we don't have a clear conscience.
Quiet. What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
Can lie and say Cat sent me, which is an eloquence test, which I haven't traditionally been done very well on. I can investigate their activities, or I can say this passage leads to the Hawkins Warehouse. Investigate their activities first. Who does this belong to?
So, who are you?
Are you stupid or are you doing it on purpose?
Everybody knows us on Darkwater.
I've just arrived.
Let's just say we're standing guard for the owner of the site, and we let no one enter her property.
They're all trying to be really subtle, but the moment they say her, I know it's the only female character in the game that I've met. Is it you who defaced the statue?
I went to see the statue of St. Brendan.
What makes you think we did it?
We're bootleggers, not savages.
Who do you think defaced the statue?
What do I know? They could have done it by themselves.
The sailors?
Who else, in your opinion? And who's interested?
You work for Cat?
Cat? She's your boss.
What? You listen through keyholes?
She's the boss, yeah. She says who goes in or not.
Shut up, you dummy. You wanted to know that you also talk too much.
She must be quite intimidating if she can make two men like you tremble.
She redid the smile at the last one who wanted to get in.
I hope you had a good dentist.
No, you don't understand. She really cut him a new smile.
But he only smiles with the left cheek.
You really are scared of this cat.
She sounds frightening, your boss.
And she doesn't like to be talked about behind her back.
This passage leads to the Hawkins Warehouse.
I've got to enter the Hawkins Warehouse. I guess it's going to be complicated.
No, it's very simple, in fact. Fuck off.
I don't give a damn about your racket. I just want to get into this warehouse.
Now, we don't give a damn about you. Whatever your reason for wanting inside, there's nothing we can do for you.
Lie and say Cat sent me. It's the only option left. Try investigating their activities again, because I'm pretty sure... I mean, I've got this bottle of whiskey that supposedly they stole from Cat. No, I've done everything here. I guess I'll lie, even though all my eloquence tests so far have seemed to have failed.
I've got to get inside. It's your boss who sent me.
Oh, yeah? And why didn't she say anything to us?
She sent me to see who's filching her stock.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You got no proof to back up your claims, and I'd advise you against snitching.
If I can't get rid of those two, I'll have to look for another way.
What's with you wandering around here like a hungry dog?
We saw you talking to the two soaks. Go die of thirst, the lot of you. It'll stink less.
Remind me what you're doing here.
What are you guarding, exactly?
Listen, bonehead, we already told you that we're guarding our boss's turf.
I bid you gentlemen farewell. If I can't get rid of those two, I'll have to look for another way.
What's the bottle of whiskey for then?
Well, well, look who's back.
Did you miss us?
Get rid of the two guards.
I have an offer that could interest you.
We're listening.
I need you to keep them busy for a while.
You send us to take the punishment while you go quietly about your business. What's in it for us?
What would convince you to help me?
There's only one thing that'll get us to move.
For sure. Bring us something to drink and we'll take care of the bootleggers.
Exactly, I've got a bottle on me.
Look what I've got.
You're a good guy, you. Follow me.
Alright.
Cheers, you jackass.
Oof, I don't feel well.
Hey, where are you going?
Say that again. I hope for your sake that I didn't hear it.
No, it's not what you think. It's just that you shouldn't hide your hooch in a fisherman's hut.
You got it coming. What? You helped yourself from my stock?
He's stewed to the gills. You'll get nothing out of him.
I'm not interested in the chat. I want to tan his hide.
Much as I want to hear the conversation, I should probably, enter. Have a quick look around. There we go.
Let's see.
Look at those locks again.
Perfect. Oh, this place stinks. What is the connection between this place and the Sarah Hawkins case?
What did I just unlock? Tell me to get in my diary. And the approach is... I think it just updated my objective. To enter a reconstruction scene, hold left trigger and right trigger. I'm not holding left trigger and right trigger yet, by the way. I'm looking around first. What is that? Is that material? Candles. junk. Right, now I'm holding left trigger and right trigger. Whoops, I let go.
Who has enough money to buy painkillers, but stays in a place like this? Can't sleep. I know how that feels. What happened here?
Check, I just failed that test. What is happening? What am I looking at? No, I didn't fail the test. I've reconstructed the scene of this guy punching the mirror. Le Petit Parisien.
It smells as bad as it looks. Someone treasures this crumpled picture to the point of sleeping with it.
What is the picture? A man and a woman. Occult test.
Is this one of Sarah Hawkins' paintings?
To leave a reconstruction scene, hold left and right trigger. Make sure there's nothing else that I've missed. I don't think I missed anything. Character point earned, new clue memorized, the Hawkins Warehouse. So I've got 4 character points, so I could upgrade my spot hidden. No, I can't. I need 6 for that. I could upgrade my psychology. My eloquence. Upgrade my eloquence because I keep not doing well with that. Alright, I've got a professional level of eloquence. More clues. Hawkins Warehouse. Officially unused since Charles Hawkins' death, this warehouse recently housed a clandestine resident. Signs of life attest to the fact. The presence of blood-stained bandages must also be noted, probably removed from a wound, as well as pills, painkillers and sleeping pills. Moreover, the occupant seems to be obsessed with Sarah Hawkins, as attested by the presence of several documents connected to the artist's life. Photograph, press cutting. But it's the discovery of a partly charred painting, recognised by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion, that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case. Okay, so who was the guy sleeping here? Was it her husband? Maybe he's still alive. Did they find his body? It says A to inspect, but it's not letting me inspect it. And I can't interact with anything anymore. What's my next objective? It's not showing one. It said some stuff about Officer Bradley. I don't know if he's that guy out the front, but he didn't mention. Discovery of partly charred painting recognized by Officer Bradley as having come from the Hawkins mansion that allows all doubts to be lifted as to the link between the contents of this building and the Hawkins case.
Someone has settled in here.
And whoever it is has something to tell me about the Hawkins case. Is there anyone in there? You! Don't move! Detective Pierce. I told you to stay away from this warehouse.
Threaten the police officer. Use psychology to say let's team up. Someone else is interested in Hawkins. The case is far from being wound up. Someone else is interested in Hawkins.
Look around you. Someone has settled in here. Can you explain what this painting is doing here?
This strange portrait. Wait, I know it. It was in the Hawkins mansion when we came to investigate the fire.
So you confirm that it was removed from the crime scene. Interesting. I'd like to go and see the mansion now.
Of course. You want to go back along his trail? I'd like to understand how this painting made it to here. Come on. My car's parked down the way. Andrews, would you please shut the door? And open your eyes, damn it. This guy went right under your nose. God damn it. Her again. This case has nothing to do with you, Baker. Clear the passage or I'll shut you up for obstruction.
Officer Bradley, you've finally grown a pair. Too bad you're too fat to see them down there.
Why you?
Come on, keep the smile. You don't want to force me to widen it.
Okay, I get it. Can we go to the mansion now?
I thought I'd straightened you out, mister. I am disappointed, but we'll meet again.
Is it far, this mansion?
Look behind you, at the top of the ridge. You see the building? That's the Hawkins mansion. Come on, we got some driving to do.
Alright, Chapter 2 finished. Chapter 3, Garden of the Hawkins Mansion. Pierce managed to get into the warehouse. The place, thought to be abandoned, revealed some surprises. Signs of recent occupation as well as a partly charred painting. Interrupted in his searching by Officer Bradley, Pierce convinced him to join his investigation. The police officer is willing to drive the detective to the Hawkins mansion. So away from me to back out now and keep the game saved, or do I have to start chapter 3 in this video? And then, same as I did with the last video, start of chapter 2 is at the end of my chapter 1 video. I guess I'll do that again. Into the madness. Into the madness. Guy's got a scar like somebody already tried to widen his smile.
Well, here we are, Hawkins Mansion. The place has been abandoned since the fire. There's only old Winchester in his hut.
I thought the mansion burnt in a fire. The place is falling into ruin. You know the place very well. Anything I should be wary of, and you're not the first to talk about Winchester. You're not the first to talk about Winchester.
Your partner, Andrews, warned me against him.
You managed to get something out of that bum? I'll end up asking you for advice.
He talks too much. He inferred that old Silas was slightly unhinged.
That's not far off the mark, I suppose. But kinda unfair at the same time. You know, Silas Winchester has been working for the Hawkins family as far back as I can remember. Charles was like a son to him. The day of the fire, he lost his whole family. So he's got nowhere to go. And, as you'll see, in a way he's still watching over them. Is there anything else you want to ask me? Or do you want to go up there?
I thought the mansion burnt in a fire.
I see no scorched trees or fire damage on the building.
You're pretty damn observant, ain't you? The fire was quickly contained. Old Silas acted as soon as he could.
Not soon enough to save the Hawkins.
They were trapped in the drawing room. And don't go troubling Silas anymore. His guilt torments him enough as it is. Are we gonna take a closer look at this mansion, or do you have other questions?
You know the place very well.
You're the one who looked after the Hawkins case.
Don't think I was trying to hide it. It's just that this discovery shakes my convictions.
That's why you're so keen to find out who removed the painting from the mansion.
Yes. If something escaped us, or if there's been a law enforcement error, then it's up to the police to make good its mistake. Anything else?
Anything I should be wary of?
I prefer to be prepared if there's going to be trouble.
It's a wise attitude. But apart from old Silas and some rotten floorboards, there's nothing to worry about.
Could he be a problem?
Strictly speaking, he ain't dangerous. But since the tragedy, he's been a little touched. Though, he's a remarkably sturdy man, given his age. A true force of nature.
A sad old man doesn't worry me.
Gee, if you don't want to listen to my advice, we might as well go. Right?
The place is falling into ruin.
You won't get me to believe that it looked any better 3 months ago.
It's a very old building, you know? Its foundations would probably date from the arrival of the first settlers.
It's got nothing to do with Charles Hawkins' debts.
Ha! You've already begun to nose around it, would seem. So, since you already know it, the Hawkins family couldn't afford the upkeep of this house. It remains to be seen what they did with all their money. I wager it was Charles Hawkins' travels. Let's go up there Unless you still have questions.
Let's not waste any time.
Night falls quickly here, and I want to be able to see when we arrive.
I'll go with you, if only to reassure Silas.
Okay.
Why not? You can help.
Right. Let's go.
Okay, the game saved, so I'm not going to have to repeat that conversation in the next video, which is nice. So, yeah. Call of Cthulhu Chapter 2. Done and in the bag. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit subscribe if you haven't already. Feel free to like, comment and share. All of that stuff helps me out heaps. And I hope to see you in the next video. Oh, feel free to follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Mixer, Instagram. I'm Bman Pwnz on all of them. BMANPWNZ. All my social medias are down in the didgeridoo. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, internet.